Good afternoon. Today is Monday, June 10th, and it's about 2:35, and I would like to spend just a couple minutes introducing you to Module 3. In Module 3, we are focusing on morphology, which is the study of building words. Morphology is the branch of linguistics that studies the structure of words. Morphemes are the word builders of language. In English and in many other languages, many words can be broken down into its morphemes. And so for the word unhappiness, we would find three morphemes. Courses and talking each have two. Why? Morphemes are the smallest unit that words can be broken down into which have meaning or grammatical function. So for instance, un is a morpheme. Yes is also a morpheme, but it also happens to be a word. Many times students will confuse syllables with morphemes. They are not the same. Syllables don't always have meaning or bring meaning to the word. Morphemes always contribute meaning to the word. So our objectives for Module 3: understand aspects of morphology needed in the ELL classroom, understand basic morphological patterns needed in the ELL classroom, and then create engaging morphological materials and lesson plans for the ELL classroom. We're going to wait on syntax until Module 4. So our readings, I would highly recommend watching the video first, then reading Chapter 2 in the West book, and then viewing the PowerPoint. Those three seem to support each of them with the same information. Then Chapter 3 Bear will be looking at setting up a word study program within your classroom. And then a second chapter in the Bear book would be choosing a spelling developmental level that is most closely associated to the grade level you teach or want to teach. The back book has 4 chapters. They're pretty short, and they all introduce different ways to teach morphology and morphemes and word building. Graduates, you have an additional article, The Role of Morphological Awareness in ESL Acquisition, and then there's some other resources that are listed in the module. Vocabulary that we're looking at for Module 3: morphemes, free and bound morphemes, derivational and inflectional morphemes, lexical gaps, and orthography, which is spelling, the study of spelling words within a language. The discussion that everybody is completing for Module 3 is a choice. You can pick one of those 3. The third one is worded not great. So basically you need to read that blog, and then you would be able to answer the question, what could go wrong with this approach? Please remember your discussions can be right at 150 to 200 words. No more than that is really needed. And be sure you respond to at least 2 peers. Module 3 assignment for everybody, again, is you are picking an activity. And I think those 3 are all pretty self-explanatory. The last 2 assignments that everybody completes is the self-evaluation quiz and then the Module 3 e-journal learning reflection. And please remember that's just a brief entry summarizing what you learned in Chapter 3 or in Module 3. Surprises you had, connections you made, questions you still have. Graduates, you have an additional assignment, which is basically, well, you'll be doing the alternate graduate assignment, and that's where you choose one of the weekly assignments from modules 3 through 5. You will have a colleague evaluate it, so use your peer review partner for this, similar to what you did for Module 2. And note the due date. It is due anytime between Thursday, June 13th to Sunday, June 23rd. And that's when Module 6 is due. So that's kind of a long range due date. Some reading highlights. In the 4 chapters, you will be reading things about word building, syllable search, orthography. You'll also be learning about an activity that you can incorporate into your classrooms called anagrams, which is looking at words and then figuring out how to scramble the letters to make other words. And I noticed that at the beginning of our PowerPoint, we had a picture of a bat, and we had bat or bats. And when you look at those 4 letters, you can make 3 words out of that. And so that's an example of an anagram activity. I've already discussed the Words Their Way readings. Basically, the chapters you are reading in Module 3 relate to the instruction that comes after you have administered the spelling inventory and have determined this developmental spelling level your students are in. A famous quote of Dr. Bear, who used to teach at Iowa State, he was my advisor for a while, was trying to determine what they use and what they confuse. So chapter 3 is summarizing how to organize for word sorts, and then the second chapter is you will pick the level based upon the grade level you teach or want to teach. So each chapter is focusing on a specific developmental level. And if you're a high school level or if you're a middle school or a high school teacher, I would recommend chapter 8 because that's the chapter that focuses on Greek and Latin roots, which is probably more developmentally appropriate for your age of student. The West chapter, chapter 2, is pretty straightforward, but it does have a fun little test your morphemes knowledge game. And it lists several words that you can see how you do with counting morphemes. So I thought we'd do a few together. So the first one is the word rats. How many morphemes are there in the word rats? If you guessed 2, you're right. Because you've got rat, which is one morpheme, and then you've got that letter S, which is another morpheme. And so together, we would count that as a 2 morpheme word. What about anaconda? And I made this picture of the anaconda small in case anybody's afraid of snakes out there. This is tricky. Remember, we're talking about the meaning that the morphemes bring to the word. How many morphemes are in this word? 1. I know. Surprised, right? We were too. We even emailed Dr. West about this. And he said yes, because none of those individual morphemes contribute meaning to the word. Therefore, the word anaconda is considered a 1 morpheme word. So due dates. The discussion is due by Wednesday, June 10th. 2 peer responses to the discussion posts are due Thursday, June 13th. And the assignments, the quiz, and the journal entry, the first assignment, the quiz, and the journal entry are due Thursday, June 13th. Please email me with questions. A lot of you are, and that's awesome. I really appreciate you feeling like you can email me at any time with those questions because that's what I'm here for. Friendly reminder, Module 2 is due today by the end of the day. And I hope you enjoy this module. And I will be sending out my weekly emails. And I will also be doing daily announcements on Blackboard. So have a great day, and I hope you enjoy this module.